next time.
So apparently we're live.
Apparently. We're very whited out, aren't we?
Where's all our chats and stuff? Like,
Oh no, what's going on here?
oh, there we go.
Oh, but they're not going to show up.
Yeah, you got to hit chat, comments up there.
Well, that's how we get it then. Yeah. Can we still do this?
No.
Oh, so we have to leave it like that. Okay.
I don't see why that's an issue. Why is that an issue?
I don't like how washed out we are with the white light.
Good morning, shenanigans.
That's my line. Can you go click that one more time, please? Kevin, it really is quite bright. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I think that's better. Maybe flip that up that way a little bit. I know we should have done this before. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, yeah, actually, that is better. Yeah, that's better. We'll stick to that.
Shenanigans.
Total shenanigans. Yep. Okay, now we can do it. Are we ready? I was born ready. See? I knew he was going to say that. Good morning, humanity. I still look really white on my face, but that's okay.
Well, you're white.
I am white, aren't I? But I look washed out like a ghost. I don't know. Weird. Anywho's, here we are, you guys. Yep. Oh, there's Marianne. Look, right on top of it.
Look at that.
Good morning, Marianne. Great to see you here.
Good, strong coffee today.
It actually is. I only had a little sip, just a sec. It's very, very hot too.
Mm-hmm.
It is different.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do different? Kevin did something different to the coffee today, so it is different.
Well, we might need to start adding a shot of espresso.
Stronger the coffee, the better for this man. Like, honestly.
You know how, you know those glass French presses? Or the classic,
Thanks,
the classic drip coffee pot that's glass. You know, when you go into a place and you see coffee in a pot like that, and you can hold it up and you can see like through it, you know, your coffee's not strong enough.
Kevin.
Same with the French press.
Marianne says she can't drink that.
Well, this is a special combination of stuff, what we're drinking here today.
Kevin's a coffeeholic.
But the thing is, the interesting thing is the darker the roast, the stronger the flavor, but the less caffeine it has, believe it or not.
Right. Everybody thinks, oh, if it's dark roast, it's too strong, but it's actually the other way around.
So we will do an instructional video.
Someday.
For how I make this coffee.
You've been asked multiple times to do it, actually. Yes, he really has. We've been a little bit negligent. I have to admit, we have been negligent.
I've explained it several times.
You have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin loves his coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's a coffee. We blend our coffee every morning.
Yeah. I mean, I like good flavored coffee. I'm not like a like like I don't not like that.
Well,
hey now.
No, Kevin just would not complain. That's Kevin. So he just.
Well, no, that's not true. I have complained.
No, but
I have had some shitty ass coffee. I will say that.
Hey, let's talk about that for a minute before we get into this deep ass stuff. I drink 1 caffeinated coffee a day, and that's it. The rest is decaf. Why would you bother drinking coffee if you're doing decaf? I don't get it. Like, what's the point? You're stripping it of its goodness if you drink decaf.
What's going on, Marianne?
I think decaffeinated coffee is extra, like, hate to burst your bubble, but I'm pretty sure it's extra chemicalized.
It depends on how it's decaffeinated.
I suppose, yeah.
There's the Swiss water style and whatever. I guess that's
yeah. The rest of the time, you should just drink water, Marianne. Just drink water.
So I don't like. Do you have any topics down for today?
I
Like,
did.
What is it?
It's a really big one.
Oh my goodness.
The pain of carrying generational trauma.
Oh yes, for sure that. Yes.
Yes. Because we got to talk about what we experienced the other day.
Mhm.
Got to share that. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, Marianne.
Mhm.
Marianne's already starting to get personal. So here we go. Yeah.
Well,
So should we just get right into it?
we
Maybe.
might as well because
Yeah.
there's a couple other things that I want to chat about today too, but this is the big one.
You do want to start with that one?
Why
Start
not?
with your thing you want to chat about? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't even know what it is. He hasn't communicated this to me. This is all.
No, I mentioned it last night after
You did?
watching that podcast.
Oh,
Of how sort of frustrating it kind of was to.
Marianne, that might be why you have bladder problems. You're not a water drinker. I'm just saying. No. Got to drink good water. It's very, very
gotta be good
important.
water,
It's
like
got to
the
be good
right
water. We're very particular about our water too.
Mhm.
Even more particular, I would say, than
The
the
coffee.
coffee. Yeah. But anyway,
That's another topic for another time.
that's another topic for another day. Yeah.
So what did you experience the other day, dear?
Oh, we're gonna go right into that.
Well, I mean, it was so most of you know by now that we're involved in multiple different sort of endeavors.
I don't think we've ever really talked about what we actually do. I think people have caught on to the idea that we actually do
things.
some kind of transformational something or other, but I don't think people actually
Oh
know
no,
what we do.
we've mentioned it.
Have we?
before
Maybe
in
Marianne would remember.
other
She could
podcasts.
tell us if we have talked about it.
We have in other coffee times, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
Yeah. So part of this entire process is the fact that we're always kind of working on ourselves.
Always.
And when things show up, because it's about results, like what results are we what results are showing up, and
Sure.
are they the results that we desire? And if they're not, let's figure out why or how they're not the results that are showing up. So the other day I was working on my computer, A was working on her computer, doing her
Do my thing.
doing her thing.
Yeah.
And
No, I think the problem was I wasn't doing my thing.
You're seeming like you were doing your thing, but you're just apparently just sitting there staring at the computer.
Okay, well let's just
that what happened?
let's give the quick backstory here. Okay. Here's what was happening. Picture it.
Sicily, 1942. 3 against 1,000.
Kevin, stop. Yes, we are, Marianne. That's right. We're more than 60% actually. We're mostly water. But I thought I'd turn this down. Just a second here. Turn this down. Anyway, what was happening is we're on this new journey right now. Okay, to be quite honest, Kevin and I have been working together really since we were married. Really, we have 18 years, but we've more been working in this capacity as, I don't know, like I'm not into the coaching word. It's more transformational specialists, if you want to call us
We're
that.
transformational tour guides.
Yeah, we're
is what
tour
we are.
guides really of transformation.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're both master practitioners and trainers of NLP, timeline therapy, hypnosis, like all these great tools, right? Yeah. And I've already talked about how I'm a craniosacral therapist, somatic emotional release, and, you know, been
A
doing
whole
all that
slew of other
stuff
things.
for over 20 years myself before I even met him. So, anyway, so we're in the healing world. We're in the healing world. So, anyway, what we've done because of the epilepsy, I will blame a lot of it on the epilepsy. It's not all.
Blame it on the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the epilepsy, I took a huge step back from us working with clients, doing personal breakthroughs and doing our group trainings and our weekend workshops and things like that, because I was living with far too much fear that I was going to have seizure in front of people, that I was going to ruin the whole thing. And there's been times that I've had, like even over these last few years, I was trying to get my podcast going again then, and I had interviews booked, and then I'd have a seizure. and then I wouldn't be able to do the interview, and it would just screw everything up. And then I would feel terrible because I was canceling things last second and wouldn't be able to follow through. And it caused this whole slew of emotional shit, right? So it was just easier. It just became easier to just not even do it, just not even try. I just took a step back. Kevin did other things. And I mean, we tried our damnedest to figure out how we were going to make this work so that we could get back to doing what we love to do. And, you know, Kevin could be home with me and we could do things from home. So this is what we've been searching for. This is what we've been seeking. So long story short, we found this wonderful program that we're now doing. And it's, you know, I'm learning how to do this online digital world more effectively, and, you know, leveraging social media in order to, you know, expand our reach and get our businesses going online
and provide value for many more people.
Provide value for far more people, which has always been our goal. But the truth of the matter is we need to be able to monetize, because we need streams of income so that we can be at home together, so that we, you know, because this is the way we've had to adapt our lives. And this is just reality, right? I mean, it's a harsh reality at times, but you know what? It's not so bad staying home with him. It's not so bad, right?
It is what it is.
We're kind of pretty good together. But in order to do that, we're just like anybody else, right? We need to live. We've got things to pay for. We got to have food. Like, we got to pay our bills, right? So anyway, so this is what we've been working on. So I have been stumped. I'll be honest. I've been stumped since I've been mostly doing it. I mean, I've been the one that's been doing the training, like learning, and what a great program too, by the way. Oh my God. If anybody wants to learn online program, but like online digital marketing, let me know and I can get you hooked up. This is
Good morning, Louise.
Freaking phenomenal. Good morning, Louise. So anyway, I have felt blocked. Okay. That's the long and short of it. I have felt blocked about finally doing just the very simple steps that it takes to get yourself going on a whole new social media profile and platform and channel, if you want to call it that.
Well, there's a learning curve, right? And
there
if you
is,
just
because my world's been Facebook. That's the truth of the matter. My world has been Facebook since 2007 when I first got on it. So for me, it was starting fresh. And so I went to TikTok, and this is what I've learned how to use TikTok. And never really done TikTok. It's not been ever. Like, I just be like, but the reality is, and this is what I've learned, is that people our age, you guys, people our age are the biggest group of people that are actually moving on to TikTok now and doing the whole TikTok thing. It's not just a dancing platform, surprisingly enough. So anyway,
we have to learn about it.
We have to learn about it.
Follow instructions.
And we have to be coachable.
Coachable.
Yes. We have to be willing to follow instructions. So
and get out of our comfort zone.
Us
maybe.
Coaches here, like, we had to actually be coached, be mentored in how to do this, taught how to do this, and follow instructions.
Meanwhile, I do the tech stuff in the back.
He does. And here's the thing. You guys know that I have struggled with seizures and stuff. So I have found that over the years, the seizures have caused me I'm a little slower to pick up new things, like new concepts, or I have a harder time definitely with anything tech, like anything like finer details, like my brain, I'll just be like, so what would take Kevin probably, honestly, the first go around to get it, and he'd get it like that. For me, it would take hours, literally. So, I mean, I've even been left crying because I was just so frustrated. But here's the thing. It was me that was making it difficult. It's not because actually doing it is difficult, because once you actually get it, it's like, oh, this really isn't hard at all. But it was me. So the other day, it was Wednesday. Today's Friday. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I think it was Tuesday. Doesn't matter. I was sitting here, and Kevin even noticed too that I was just not really getting much done. Oh my God, that light is bugging me. I'm sorry.
Okay, just stop.
Yeah, I don't think it's that one, Kev. I think it's this one because it's making me so like.
Shenanigans.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. There we go. We had to close the curtains. Brilliant.
Yeah, natural light. You can't use natural light. Imagine that.
Apparently, I'm sorry, guys. It was really glaring into my face. But anyway, yeah. So Kevin noticed that I was just kind of sitting here, not really being productive, just like looking at the screen, not getting done what I had said I was going to do. What are you doing, Apple?
Yeah, look at the camera.
Oh, I'm not looking at the camera.
No, that's
it's very easy to look down at the screen. But sorry, guys. Oh my God. Anyway, I got to take these off. So anyway, here I am. I'm like just not being productive, and I can feel it in my bones. I'm just like, oh my God, what is going on? Why is it so hard for me to just do the damn content? Like, it's not that hard. Like, I've been, yeah, well,
we have a solution for that.
Yeah, Marianne, we get it. We understand all those things happen. Yes. Like, we're not going into this naive, right? We're going into the social media landscape, understanding, and the digital marketing landscape, understanding all that background stuff. Okay, like we're totally going into it aware, right? But we also understand that in order for us to do things in the way that we need to be able to do it, this is where we have to be. We have to be online. We got to be doing the digital marketing thing.
Well, realistically,
we got to be doing it well.
I heard this a long time ago when the internet was first starting up. Several years after it sort of started to ramp up. But the internet's like a big bag of money.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is poke your hole in it and put your bucket.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Right.
We're into the poking the hole and bucket thing right
we're totally into it because listen, guys, we get everything else, everything, like we're at peace in ourselves, like we're in a good place emotionally and mentally, we're very happy, like our health is decent, like,
but it's the formula that's going to work for us because of our circumstance, right?
But the piece that needed to come in is this financial piece. There's no question.
Well, and learning how to do it properly.
Yeah. That's right. So this is the journey that we're on, and we know that there's billions of other people in the world that are also on the same journey. So, because this is what we got to do. So, anyway, God, I'm taking a long time to get to the story, aren't I?
No shit.
I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, so yes, so Kevin just kind of turned around on his little office chair away from his screen, and he looks over at me, and I look at him like, Kevin, I need help. Like, I really need help. Okay, what's going on? And so
you've come to the right place.
Yes. I'm like, I am so done with like being blocked about why I can't just do this damn content. This social media content is not hard. It should not be hard for me. I've been in front of the camera for years. I've been on stage for years. You and I have been teaching for years. Like this, it's not hard for anybody really. But I mean, given the fact that I have all that experience, and it's just, it doesn't make sense. Why can't I just freaking do it? Well, and then of course I start to tear up because it's really overwhelming. And I'm just like, I just don't understand. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? I'm so resistant. So what does Kevin decide to do? Pulls out the massage table, because I have one, right? We have a massage table. And he's like, get on the table. Bossy butt. Like total bossy butt.
He's so bossy.
Such a bossy butt. So anyway, I get on the table, and Kevin's decided that's it. We're taking care of this. Because we came to the conclusion.
Yeah,
it goes way deeper.
So
it goes way deeper.
The thing is that when we do work, we're talking heavy shit. This isn't like scratching the surface conscious stuff.
No.
And that's where this conversation will go, because when we get into the deep stuff, the deep structures. Anybody ever seen the picture of the classic iceberg? right? Where you have like, I don't know,
Yeah.
10% or 5% that's on the surface that you see, and like 95% is underwater holding this the surface stuff up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's how the mind is, right? That's
Yeah.
that's how the mind is. So everything that's under the surface that you cannot see is what's supporting the structure above it. So when we dig in deep and we actually find these, like for me, my assessment of this one was a linchpin.
Yeah.
But we have to have a little bit of dialogue ahead of time to try and pinpoint what that deep structure is. And in this particular case, the deep structure showed itself in, I have felt, what was the exact term?
Unwanted.
Well,
Like a burden.
Well, I mean,
my whole life.
those are sort of like there.
Yeah.
But there was a word that was it, but
Yeah. Rejected.
entire life.
Rejected.
Right. I've felt rejected, a burden, like I was a burden.
Yeah. Unwanted. Unloved.
All of those sorts of things. There was one word and it'll come to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
so
it's like, okay, well, that may have ramifications right now
with your success in life.
Think about this.
Yeah.
Success,
relationships,
health, fitness.
Yeah.
Right. Finances, like everything.
Yeah.
Just those of you that are listening to this, I want you to think very carefully, because a lot of what we have uncovered is societal. There has been traumas that people have experienced that have unconsciously lodged themselves inside your being, shall I say.
Yeah.
Your being, shall I say. And these are major blocks to moving forward and having success. Now,
and as we're chatting here, if any of you can relate to this and ever experienced anything like this, like, let us know. We'd like to know.
Because you can like dig deep and push through, right?
Yeah. Or we could have stayed surface level. Yeah. Kevin could have said, oh, well, okay, so you're feeling unmotivated, right? Or you're feeling like you're lazy or something like that. And we could have just dealt with it at that level. But would it have gotten down deep into the root cause of what the real issue? No, it wouldn't have at all. And that's what I'm about. I was just like, I want this gone. I know that's been impacting me my whole life. It's like there's been so many times I've been so freaking aware of this. And it's just like, what the hell is going on? This is not a disorder or some deficit. This is a behavior that keeps playing out in my life that is resulting in us not being able to get where we want to go. And I take responsibility for that.
Okay, so that's first step.
And I'm
first step.
Tired of it.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. See the results you're getting and decide that that's not.
Yeah, no.
Not acceptable.
The nail hurt enough the other day. It was like, okay, like the nail is
so
really
acknowledge
hurting.
it.
I'm like done. I can't do this anymore.
Recognize that it could be the thing that makes the difference. And then decide. You have to choose to deal with it.
Because see, we're committed.
Because is it all right with your unconscious mind to get rid of this limiting decision today?
Absolutely.
Think about that.
I'm cold, so I got to put this blanket around me. I'm sorry, but I had a shower before we did this, and my wet hair is making me really cold. Oh.
Classic. Blame it on the wet hair.
Kevin thinks I'm a little wussy, but I can't help it. Move.
So we dealt with this. And part of our processes that we have is we have to discover where the source of that, what's the root cause of that particular belief.
Yeah. Like what's causing that?
So we have a dialogue process that we go through in order to discover that. And in this particular case, it was realized that this limitation right? Remember, another thing here is that most of what you think you believe is not even yours. Okay? So keep that in your mind as we tell this story. So as we discover the root cause starts off as in the womb.
Yeah, so that's where we went back to first.
At 1 month.
Yeah.
That's 1 month after conception.
How did I know that? How did we know that? Because Kevin asked the right
Because I
questions.
asked the right questions.
And then
the right answer.
My unconscious mind comes up with the answer. Yeah.
So this is our process. So what we do is we go there.
Yeah.
And then we experience that event. Because if this is the root cause, and this is why root cause work is so critical. Because it's unconscious. And all behavior, learning, and change is unconscious. Yeah. The interesting thing about this, when we analyze the nature of how Ava was brought into the world, it makes a lot of sense. It was just a matter of discovering, and you know what, we've done a lot of work around this where, you know, she's gone back into the womb
with different issues,
yeah, different experiences,
different
but
learning
this
beliefs.
one,
yeah,
right, this one thing, still trying to think, there was one word that describes everything, and it was about existence.
Oh, my very existence is a burden.
Yeah, my very existence,
yeah,
has been a burden.
Yeah, that's what it was. My very existence was a burden.
So yeah, let's put our thinking caps on to see how many contexts of life that would affect.
Now, when you know that, and I'm pretty sure we have mentioned this before, but we'll say it again. When you know that I was conceived of a 14-year-old, okay, and a 15-year-old boy, then that would kind of make sense, right? 14-year-old girl who, you know, hated herself, and she was mad at herself, and she was judged by her own, you know, family, of course, for doing what she did. And
I'm a failure. I'm never going to make money. I'm never going to be able
to amount to anything now in my life. And
think about the dialogue that would be going through someone's mind at that moment. The moment they found out that they were pregnant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 14-year-old in a little tiny town in small town New Brunswick, seriously, where you don't hide that shit, right? So she had to go through all that, and I have empathy for her. I really do, with what she went through and what, you know, my biological father went through too at the time. So, but the point is this, is that everything that she was going through, be it in her mind, or if she even verbalized it, right? Doesn't really matter, because it's all the same. But as she was going through all these very, very negative, limiting emotions, very, very harsh self-talk and things like that, I was taking all of that on as that little tiny baby in her womb. I was taking it all on, all of it, right? So yeah, so that was the beginning of it, in that sense, wasn't it?
Right. So this is where we started.
Yeah, we
started here.
So you see everybody, you can feel and hear all these conversations happening around you, right? And
this is proven.
Yeah.
Like this isn't us making shit up.
No,
this is
real.
Actually proven.
And it doesn't
that
matter.
The fetus or the baby, right, responds, because that baby is in a chemical soup in the mother's womb.
That's right.
So all of the chemical responses which come from emotion get fed to the baby. Not only that, but once there's an auditory, but it's an energetic thing, right?
It is energy, yeah.
But once there's an auditory capacity in the child, they can hear. That's why playing music and talking to the baby in the womb, that all matters.
It all matters.
So like how many of us have actually done that?
Yeah, it's like
wow.
really be careful what you say around.
So we have to be
pregnant
careful
women.
with what we say.
Yeah, when pregnant women need to be careful what they're thinking. Like these things all have an effect.
So if you're in a very stressful environment,
yeah,
as a someone that's pregnant,
yeah,
man, oh man,
that baby's feeling it.
Man,
that baby's feeling it. Trust me.
So we have to be aware that this is in fact the case. So this is where things started 1 month after conception. So we started getting some lessons around that.
Yeah.
Clearly in her case, it was that she wasn't,
Wanted.
it wasn't hers.
Yeah, it wasn't my stuff.
It wasn't her shit.
I took on everyone else's around.
That's right. So then it was, well, I had a sense that it wasn't necessarily the root cause. So I said, is this in fact the root cause of this? And the answer was no. So where do we go from there? So I said, well, let's go back even further. And we went back as far as another 2 generations, I think.
Well, it was my great grandmother and grandfather's generation.
Yes.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Here's what happened then, right? My great grandmother on my father's side. Oh, I can't even say father. Okay. This is where it gets confusing because I am adopted. So I've got biological parents and the biological mother. Yeah. But the biological mother became my sister by adoption. Okay. So I was adopted into the family as the youngest daughter, but they were actually biologically my grandparents. Okay. So that's where it gets a little confusing. But for this purposes, I'm going to keep it biological. So then it's very clear. Okay. So my great grandparents, all right, on my grandfather's side, okay, raised me as his daughter. Right?
Sorry for the shenanigans. I got to make an adjustment here.
Yeah. What are you making an adjustment for?
You just keep chatting.
Okay. So my great grandparents went through this experience, and this would be back in 19. I know. Thank you, Kevin. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I know. We read each
You were
other's
totally you were totally reading my mind that we needed to raise that computer up, and I was trying to find something in my eyesight, like what could we put there?
Because you took your.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You took your thing away, your binder.
Yeah, I know. Oh no, it's got to be under more because that's not even. Push the box more.
It's not even.
No. Push the box.
Don't worry about the computer.
Okay, but it looked like it was gonna tip over.
No.
Okay. All right.
How's that, everyone?
Jeepers creepers! Are we ever struggling today to get this? It's because we're limited in the stuff we have now because we packed so much stuff. No, we're limited because we packed a lot of stuff. We have. We have no limitations. No, we don't. Anyway. Jeez, honestly,
nah, it's bad.
I'm sorry, you guys taking a long time to get to this, but it's pivotal.
At some point, we'll really sort our shit out.
We really will. We will, yeah. But this is just reality. So, anyway, so my great grandparents, okay, on my mother's side, what happened then was I think it was 1942 or something like that, but that she got sick with tuberculosis. And this is my great grandmother. She got sick with tuberculosis, and she had just she was pregnant with my aunt. My grandfather, biological grandfather at the time, was like 5 or something like that. Need a
flow chart.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so the point is she got sick, and the story is she refused treatment because she was pregnant, and she didn't want to hurt the baby. Right, or something like that. Good woman, like really, like honestly, that. Good for her standing her ground, even though people were telling her to do the opposite. Anyway, so she ended up dying. Okay, so my aunt was born. She was a baby when my great grandmother died, and my father or grandfather, was like 6, I think. So what happened was, I mean, we're talking like back in like 1942 or something, right? So what do you do, right? Grampy wasn't going to take care of a baby and a little boy by himself back then, you know. There's my sister Gail right there talking about that.
That's right, Gail.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is that Grampy put Dad and Aunt Donna into family's care, so other family.
Yeah.
So Donna went to my great grandmother's side of the family, and she went to stay with the family members there. And dad or Grampy, sorry, my grandfather, biological grandfather, he went to his dad's side of the family for a time. Long story short, he ended up coming back. Aunt Donna never did. She ended up staying with the other family. I don't know all the circumstances there, if there was like they refused to give her back, or if it was just best for her to stay there because she was so little and they could take better care of her while Grampy maybe could. I don't know the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that we did, Leon, see, that was her name.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember her name, Gail, but during the actual session, it came to me, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Leon, it was Leon. So anyway, what ended up happening is Kevin helped me to go back to that time, right? And experienced that
generational trauma.
That generational trauma.
Because this entire thing is about people not being wanted and desired and just being a burden. Like think about the themes that are going through here.
Yes.
Right? But this in itself is the heavy shit.
Yeah.
It's the fucking heavy shit, man.
So the thing is this, is that whether or not their situation was what it was, and they did the best they could, right? Like they did the best they could with the resources they were working with at the time.
As everyone does.
So it's no fault. It's not a judgment. It's just they did what they had to do back then, right? But the reality is that was extremely traumatic for my biological grandfather, right?
I think so.
That was extremely traumatic, to be ripped away from his mother. She was dead. And then ripped away from his own father to go stay with family members. And then Aunt Donna, being the baby that she was, never got to know her real family, or not her family. She didn't even know about any of us until she was an adult, because they really kept her away. I don't know, it's a very strange situation, but the reality is even as that little baby who was ripped away from her mother and father and taken to other family members to be cared for and raised, there is an energetic trauma
huge
that stays with you, whether you're consciously aware of it or not.
But this is the energy that follows existence.
Yeah.
Right. So when we do the work that we do, we're asking this question if it's generational. Right. So generational means there's your lineage involved.
Yeah.
There's something that maybe has happened in the past in your family lines that has caused a generational traumatic energy to keep flowing through.
Yes.
So Bruce Lipton puts this very succinctly, because genetics itself isn't necessarily, it's the chromosomes. Yeah, you get characteristics and whatever from right the people that have come
genetics,
before you.
Yeah.
But it's not a decision factor on whether or not you are going to get. So it's not about saying, hey, come on, son, it's time to talk about the family diseases. Mm-hmm. That is actually like mostly bullshit. All right. It just actually is. It's just whether or not we are going to take on the belief that it has to be something we experience. Okay. So this generational trauma continues to flow through the generations.
Yeah.
And we have an opportunity upon realizing this, that we can actually break the cycle.
So, because here's this is
how powerful is that?
Oh,
because you
so
can actually
powerful.
heal.
Yes.
So while this is going on, the sense I had was that there was a tremendous number of, I want to say spirits, for lack of a better word, and a frame of reference for people.
Yeah. Is
that there was a lot of spirits, because we've had other experiences ourselves, where we've been able to speak to the other side, and
you have to
request. I did the other day, like last week, 2 weeks ago, right, to make an agreement.
Yeah.
That, this is with regards to people that come to you.
Yeah.
Is that we will do our best to acknowledge and respect messages that want to come through for other people, but they, on the other side, have to put those people in our path, and to the point of them being willing to receive the message. So
because
during this process, there was a lot of help.
There was a lot of help.
A lot of help.
I could feel them, and Kevin would say, "Who's here?" And I'd tell him,
A lot of help.
My grandfather, my great grandpa Hawks, Grandpa Howard was here. His wife that passed from tuberculosis was here, Leon. My biological grandfather, okay, Ralph, the man who raised me as my dad, he was here. My mom was here too. But it's funny because she was more like in the background.
Mm-hmm.
My nanny was here, same thing. She was more in the background because they were like, I almost feel like they were one step removed from it, because this was like that side of the family. So it's like all those players, like Aunt Donna was here, all those spirits that were directly connected to that
circumstance.
Yeah, to that circumstance, they were here, and I felt like they had their hands on me as I was lying on the table, and Kevin had his hands on me too, doing direct, hands-on work. But the whole table was surrounded by all these wonderful spirits in my lineage, right?
Yeah.
In my family, different generations, bringing love and support and
Mm-hmm.
healing. Because what I didn't tell you is, as I was sitting here feeling so perplexed about why I couldn't move forward with this damn work, like what was going on, Kevin asked me first, I just remember this. He asked me, "Is there someone here?" Because I said my head, like, because when there's a spirit coming through, it goes right here, right? And I'm like, oh, like this, and I have a bad habit sometimes of resisting when spirits are trying to come through. So what it was it was actually my father, my biological grandfather Ralph, who raised me as his daughter. It was his spirit that actually had come and kind of push this to happen, because he was acknowledging from the other side that this was something that had impacted all of them, right? The trauma that he experienced, losing his mom, being taken from his dad for a time. I'll have a little more. That's good. That he was acknowledging from the other side that had caused him tremendous trauma, tremendous pain, that actually made him to be who he was. And it's not that he was a bad person, but it definitely negatively impacted him.
Sure.
And then what happened is he had his own children, right? That he then projected that pain onto as well. And it's not like he meant to. He just was unconscious of it. He didn't know how to deal with it. He had never healed that past trauma. So it got projected onto our family, and then our family members, I would say, sorry, Gail, but it's true, we have projected that onto our children.
It just continues.
It just
and continues and continues
going until someone finally damn well stops it, right? There needs to be an acknowledgement that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There needs to be an acknowledgement that this is happening. And then you can actually do something about it, And it's not about pushing, it's not about pointing the finger. It's not about making Ralph, who was, like I said, the man who raised me as his daughter. It's not about making him a bad person. It's just he was in freaking pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was in pain, and he never knew how to deal with it.
Hurt people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, even if it's unconscious.
Hurt people. That's right.
Yeah, you got to break the cycle. So
yeah,
it's a choice to break the cycle. You can continue for sure. Everyone's got free will. Absolutely. Yeah. The thing is that
I'll put that up there. That's by the way, just so you guys know, Gail is my biological aunt, but she's my sister. Okay. So she grew up as my older sister. So that's who that is.
Yeah.
I know you're in pain, Gail. And that's the thing, right? I thank you for acknowledging that, because we've all been in pain from this. Yeah. So here's why this work, here's why this process that Kevin and I went through the other day was so unbelievably profound. It was because it didn't just help me to finally let go of this lifetime and generations, okay, of feeling like a burden, feeling unwanted, feeling abandoned, right, by the people that you love, right?
See, but this is a feeling, and
It's
the
a feeling.
the feeling
Yeah.
manifests itself in reality. So the events that you have experienced physically and emotionally throughout your life are a reflection of this deep structure.
Yes, that's right.
So when we deal with the deep structure, which is what the heavy shit is, this is not a cat scratching on the litter box.
Yeah.
Surface stuff.
No.
Right? We're talking digging. Okay, so this is where people need to go, in my opinion, in our opinion.
Yes.
If emotional freedom is actually going to be a thing in your life.
That's right. So yes, the cycle needs to get broken. There needs to be somebody to finally do that. Now, I'm not like taking all the credit here. I'm not. Because these past family members, these spirits that are on the other side, they're the ones who recognize that it was time for me to get my shit together and finally let it go and allow the healing process to happen and start, not just for myself, but for all these generations before and for any of the future generations that come after. And that's how powerful doing this healing kind of work is, because it really is. It's kind of like getting you to the 0 point. You know, it's like starting fresh. It's like
the reset. It's the great reset.
It's the great reset.
Love it.
But it's true. So somebody needs to do it. And I know that in a lot of ways, I know that I have been the person in my family who has done all this damn freaking healing work all these years and broken the cycle. Okay. I know I did not continue the cycle.
What was it then? What was the action?
Yeah.
And sorry, Klaus Anal Schwab, I will take and co-opt your great reset, because actually that makes a lot of sense. So humanity, right, with a capital H, humanity, right, needs a great reset of their limitations, emotions, and blockages like this.
Yeah.
All right. And that's where we come in. And a lot of people that we do come in. But what in the end here was the action in that process that helped to break it? Well,
when you're talking about what I actually experienced,
but Norm, like I said, what needs to happen? Like, what are you seeing? Like, what's your sense of things? And you said you had, I see cords.
Yeah, I could see like a squiggly long cord coming right out of the side of my gut, actually, which is interesting because that side of my gut is where there's been an issue for years now.
But it's connected directly to experience of seizures.
Yes, it was.
So while she was on the table, I had my hand on that spot, as well as her head, knowing that that's where that was going to go.
It's like the line came right up and went right up, right? And it also went out, so it was outside of me.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we had to cut it.
We got to cut it.
We went through a powerful process of cutting it.
With assistance.
Assisted by the other side as well. See, here's the thing.
Because they want it too.
They want it too, you know, like their souls were ready for it to finally be gone, because they get it from a higher perspective. They understand the damage that it has caused, you know, and that it went undealt with, that it went unhealed. And so, yeah, God damn, it was so powerful. We should have filmed it, for freak's sakes. You know that? Should have filmed it. Anyway, I cried really, really hard on the table, didn't I? I remember just crying like from the deep pits of my soul, just like.
We actually did a short video that you guys can see.
Woo.
Immediately after this happened.
Yeah, we did. Kevin made me. Here I am, my eyes still swollen up from crying. I still have tears in my eyes, and he's making me get on friggin' camera, pushing me out of my comfort zone.
No, but so long story short, right? It's now been a 50-minute story.
It has. There is no short with us.
But once that was completed and that energy could then be let go, it makes room for other energy.
Yeah.
Okay. And it makes room for the freedom that comes from not carrying that. I know I've told this story before, and that is of the two monks that lived on the mountain.
Yeah, you just told that the other day.
I know, but this is critical right now that people understand this. And part of their belief structure, belief system in the monastery was that you don't interfere with another person's karma. So how you don't interfere with their lives or anything like that. Anyway, these two monks decided to walk down from the monastery to go into the village. And as they walked down, they had to cross this, right, fairly rapid, like mountain stream. And on the one side, as they got up to the stream, there was a lady trying to figure out how she was going to get across the stream. Anyway, one of the monks decided he was going to just piggyback her across the stream and then put her down, and they went on their way. Well, the other monk that witnessed this was just like, started to lose his mind. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not supposed to interfere with, like, that's her karma to try and figure out how she's getting across. They go down to the village and all that stuff, hours and hours and hours later, right? Come back, and then on the way back, the monk that was losing his mind said, how come you help that woman? We're not supposed to do that. And the one monk turned and looked and said, I put her down after we got over the stream, and you're still carrying her?
Hours ago.
Hours later, you're still carrying her? Right? So how long do you want to carry stuff?
Well, I would say generations of pain.
See what I mean?
But definitely a lifetime of like over 49 years, if you include being in the womb. Mm. That's probably long enough. I kind of thought it was long enough. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's like, I've earned my stripes.
But we don't only carry our own past life traumas, because it's energy that just flows through time. But we carry generational stuff that gets piled on because we're connected energetically to other souls, obviously.
And most
but
often,
we also carry
the behaviors continue as well.
Right, but we also carry species-related traumas or decisions as well.
Well, collective traumas.
Collective traumas.
Collective traumas, yeah.
So all of these things can get dealt with. It's just, how do they affect your life?
Yeah.
And when you discover things like this, it's pretty powerful. So as a result of doing this the other day,
yeah,
because there's been a struggle up to that point.
Oh, there has.
To be able to
mental struggle,
emotional struggle, because
physical struggle.
Part of this program is to produce 3 pieces of content as part of your commitment to value.
Yeah.
For other people.
For your audience. Yeah.
So up to that point, it's been a super struggle.
Oh, weeks.
Right.
So unnecessary though, because you know what? Right after we got done and Kevin made me get on the camera with him, then I went right into the bedroom actually, and I did a quick TikTok video, and I actually did it right on TikTok, and I edited it right on TikTok the way that we've been taught to do it. And I was like, it took me a long time because I made myself do it correctly, because I wanted to go through each step, to make sure the brain was processing it and getting it. But I did it, and I was like, oh, that really isn't that hard.
So I will share another quote with you.
You imagine struggling with doing TikTok videos is what brought this generational pain out of me. Like, who would have thought,
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Anticipation of death
is worse
than death itself.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think that that really tough work that we did the other day, which actually was only about 20 minutes, wasn't it? It wasn't very long at all, but it was profound, because it was lifetimes, right? Generations of work. But I'm glad to have done it, because, and it's okay that, I bared the burden, right, of all that, but I'm not the only one. There's lots of people in my family who, totally unbeknownst to them, I promise you, they don't even realize that this is probably where their pain is coming from, but it is. And I do hope that the work that we did the other day, that it's going to help on some higher consciousness level, and we'll say energetic level. It's going to start their process of letting go and maybe healing as well. Like, I really do hope that happens.
We know that's the way it works.
Yeah.
This isn't a hope thing. Please.
Kevin, I'm allowed to say that word.
No.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. It is my greatest intention that would happen, but I can't control what other people do either.
No, but it's not about that.
Yeah.
Right? It's a desire for other people to come along. Sure.
On an energy level,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
At a quantum physics level, or whatever the hell you want to call it, yes, it has made a difference. I guarantee it. It's just, I would like to see my family finally be able to transcend all of that friggin' pain that I know they're carrying, because I've witnessed it. I see it. I feel it.
So this segues nicely into the last little thing that I want to mention here, because we were listening to a podcast yesterday, and it was one of these folks that I don't even know how to describe it. They interview people that work or understand, I don't know the science maybe behind manifestation and things like that, or whatever. But
an expert in the field,
some expert in the field, however it works.
Yeah.
I don't know, transformational people. But what I found, and I won't name names, but what I found with listening to that podcast, in between these little short segments of the snippets of information that she's taken from the interviews that she's done to support what she's saying in between the little snippets, it was like the fucking sledgehammer, right?
Well, she admits that she's pretty tough that way.
And that's fine.
She just lays it out.
But it's not laying it out. But it's not. It's the conscious sledgehammer. Remember that the iceberg analogy? Right? What you're doing and what she was attempting to do was to verbally motivate, maybe, I don't even but chip away at the ice at the top.
Yeah.
Without thinking for a second. And it's great to have all the science and whatever, and this, science has proven that blah 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 blah. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But if you're going to chip away at the ice on the surface, above the surface on the glacier, guess what? There's still friggin' 95% of that glacier that's still underwater. So this is why we are committed to the Heavy Shit Club and this process, and sharing all of these things with you, is because when you're ready to go to that deep level, to truly let this crap go, right?
Your life can truly change.
That's when life changes. And yeah, can people make conscious choices? Sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's kind of the longer road,
right?
All.
It's the longer road.
Yeah, it is.
Because
and at the same time, I'm going to pop in here.
Sure.
I'm going to interrupt Kevin's teaching moment.
I'm going to tell you this one thing.
Yeah. And at the same time, sometimes these deeper unconscious issues, like root cause issues, sometimes, right, they need to come on their own time. Right? Like, I believe that everything happens for a reason, because we've been doing this work for a really, really long time, and I've never gone to where we went the other day, but I know it's because I needed to be ready. I needed to be ready to do that.
Yeah.
And they're on a higher consciousness, you could call it soul level. They obviously, these spirits on the other side that I'm connected to, they obviously saw that it was time, that it was ready. I was ready to finally take control, take charge, and really dive into this history in our family and into this trauma so that it could be let go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about, well, if you guys do this work and you've done so much work, how come you didn't do this sooner? Well,
Layers, donkey, layers.
we had done other work for sure, right?
Mhm.
But obviously it was like the perfect storm, right? It was all the different circumstances that had brought me to that breaking point where it was like undeniable, and it was like I couldn't push it off anymore, and I couldn't just excuse it anymore. And I also, like I said, I had my grandfather's spirit on the other side, kind of like pounding on my head and saying, it's time, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And so as a medium, right, I need to listen. I need to listen when that happens. And, so we did. So it was the right time. So my point being is that sometimes we want to rush things, or sometimes we think we need to just do it all, like boom, boom, boom.
And we can do that.
And we can do that, like we've done it. But at the same time, there will sometimes be things that just that just need to come at the right time, and we just have to trust, right?
So,
we just have to trust.
On this wonderful note,
yeah,
right, we have created the Heavy Shit Club.
Yeah.
With this exact process in mind, because we understand, we know that things come and they show themselves, and sometimes they show themselves at the most inopportune times.
Yep.
So what we've done is we've created this club, and it's really a club. It's about people that want to take a really hard look at themselves, and I want to say sledgehammer, like really get a good kickoff on the transformation, because we do have a weekend program that people need to take before actually taking part in the longer term concept of the club. So the way this works is that when you do either a breakthrough with us or take our weekend program or whatever, that sets the foundation, because it's a foundational knowledge base, plus it's a foundational technique base. And that's something that we can then build on as we go forward. So the way this club is sort of looking is that anybody that's done a breakthrough with us can join the club, because they have that knowledge and they have the techniques. Once that's done, then on a monthly basis, we will meet 2 times, just like this, in person. And that's the opportunity then for us to do the heavier shit, where we actually get into stuff that's shown itself, and that it needs to be cleared away. So we're allowing that space to guide that process. But then we also talk about things that are much deeper than that. Like I mentioned, the societal or species level traumas.
It's called collective trauma.
Collective consciousness traumas that we've all experienced at some point energetically in our energetic past. So this is the Heavy Shit Club. So if you want to scratch the surface, go for it. All right. There's lots of people out there that can, yell at you on the screen and, why are you doing this? Don't do this. Don't do that. There's lots of people that do that. If you're ready to actually dig deeper and clear shit away like what we did the other day, then get on board. Because when we do the change, when we change, that changes the planet. So this is our passion. This is our commitment. And the value we want to bring to you is because these tools exist and they're super easy to learn. They're super fast to do. and they're profound. They really are profound.
And once you know them, you can do them on your own.
And that's part of this
Once
too,
you
is
get-
that
once
it's
you
not
get
about just
proficient at
us
it.
running the show.
No.
It's about learning the techniques. So that
Self-healing, you guys.
that's
This is
right. So we want to
self-healing.
empower people to do that
Yeah.
on their own.
So that's one of the things that we've been working on, right? On getting online, this is why we're doing all this, because we're trying to, like we said, expand our reach. We're trying to get more, we're trying to be of service to more people, and work within, in the way that we can do it from anywhere, right? So we're not restricted to a certain location or a certain place, or and it fits into our lifestyle, it fits into our circumstances, and it allows us to do this work that we love so much. So we're finally getting back to it, and this is the way that we can do it.
Yeah.
So that's why, just like we told you guys last time, please go to our website and sign up for our email list. Then at least we have that connection even outside social media. So that's kevinandava.com. Very simple, super, super simple.
So you can go there or go to the heavyshitclub.com.
It's even easier just to go
Even
to
easier.
kevinandava.com for now,
For now.
right? For now. So,
And we are bringing media into the kevinandava.com website,
yes.
so that all of the different sort of components that we're passionate about, you can find there. So all of these coffee times, anything to do with Ava's Rebel Epileptic stuff, the Heavy Shit Club, even the Union of Humanity, all of that stuff, and the coffee times.
And my mediumship sessions
and
that
Tune In with Ava.
We've renamed it to Tune In with Ava. So that's going to be on there too. But we're still working all those details out.
Yeah.
We're still
I'm
getting
just dealing with the tech here
the
in the
back
end.
end stuff ready to do that.
Because we
So,
would love for people to just come to kevinandava.com and find all us, including the live stream here. Because these other social platforms, when you're trying to send them to different places, we have a limitation, because like it was mentioned earlier, is that I think it was Marianne, you're only seeing your own comments, which is kind of strange.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening.
And we only see like one or two, but we know there's other people that are commenting for sure.
Yeah.
But if we can do it on our own website as a live stream, we'll see all the comments.
Yeah, well, that's the hope.
Right. So that's where we want to move to, where people can actually come onto our website. And what we'll do is we'll just post notifications on Facebook and YouTube and wherever to say we're going live on kevinandava.com. So and then people just come there and watch it.
But I also had put on, just so you know, I don't think you realize, but I put in the description for today that anybody could ask us anything, right?
Yeah. And yes, true. Censorship is a massive issue, especially being here in the Great White North. And that's what we also recognize. So we're looking to provide solutions for all of that.
Yeah.
And certainly having our own website, an alternative platform or whatever, where we can all gather.
Yeah.
Is 100% required.
Oh, there's a new person. I've never seen that. Pastor Nasir.
Hey, great to see you. Welcome.
Gil, that sounds like Indian?
Maybe.
Gil is an Indian name?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know where you're from.
So we're working on that. We've actually created the unionofhumanity.com, and feel free to go there and poke around. It's a private platform, but it is literally a social community platform as its base level, where anybody can come in as a member and communicate whatever we want to communicate on. All right, because this, and I promise, this is our platform we've created. I've done all the work in the last 6 months to create this thing, so that I promise you.
Hi, Julie.
I promise you that I will not shadow ban anybody, because I don't even know how to do that, and it sounds like it sucks.
It does suck.
So
I've been shadow banned for like the past 4 years on Facebook at different times.
So we're working on it. Trust me, we're bringing these solutions to people because we want people to be empowered.
Yeah.
There's some really tough discussions that have to happen.
Totally.
We have to have a place where we can actually have these discussions with respect, with honesty, with openness.
Just like you did today.
Yes.
Hi, Raynell.
There we go.
So I am curious, and I got to say this because Juliet, if you heard our conversation up to this point, I'd be curious if you don't mind commenting, because I know you were there. Right? When you talk about, like, when we were telling the story, you guys, just so you know, when we were telling the story about my very existence on this planet and how it all came about, Juliet is someone who was there when it happened as well as Gail. So feel free to comment, Juliet, if you would like, because you were there. Marianne saying, I showed hubby how bad I am. Shadow ban on everything, and I shared it with him. Nothing. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how it happens.
You got to go back and listen to it then, Juliet.
Yeah.
You got to go back and listen to it. It'll bring back some memories for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because we just went through a really powerful process of healing in order to heal that experience. So
generational trauma.
And then some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Quick recap.
Yeah.
No, you got to go back and watch the replay.
Even just watch that little short video we did right after the process. That'll give you a little bit of a.
Yeah, we'll put that we'll link that in the comments so you guys can see that too.
So please, we love the feedback. We want to make sure that we're
providing value
to give you guys value. If there's anything that you want us to chat about, really, there are discussions that have to happen. And if we're going to move forward into this new earth, this new world, then those discussions have to happen with integrity and honesty and compassion and openness.
Yeah.
And also a willingness for each one of us that is having these discussions to look at ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the role that I feel we're going to help to play. We love every one of you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we do.
Well, there you go, Juliet. I was a product of my mom's affair. It changed me, but it made me realize how important self-worth is. Absolutely.
And it's not to say that these traumas or these experiences over time can't produce the effect that they're designed to in the end.
Oh, for sure.
What we're suggesting is that there's a way to cut through the clutter.
Yes.
Of the surface layer bullshit.
In order to finally let it go.
In order to actually let it go.
Once it gets acknowledged.
Unconscious energetic level.
Yeah, for sure.
But
there's no question. We are the product of everything we've experienced, right? And everything our families, like our parents, have experienced, and the whole bit. There's no question.
Piles it on.
Yeah.
So when would now be a good time?
Yeah. Yeah. So I love this. Like, thank you for sharing that. And I would like anybody who feels comfortable, who wants to share, what they've learned, right, through their own traumas, or if you want to share just a little blip of your, an experience, a traumatic, what would be perceived as a traumatic experience.
We do look at the comments.
You've had
100%.
You've had. Feel free to share it. Because I love that because this is what we're talking about. Like, this is what we're talking about. These are the discussions that have to happen. When your entire life, was started out from your very conception, and this is what happened with me, okay? When your entire world, your entire world was meant to be a secret, right?
Ooh.
Was kept a secret, like that has huge impact on your behaviors and the way you feel and what like literally, like the extended family somehow didn't know my story, didn't know I existed as an adopted child into the family. I don't know how they pulled that one off. That was just weird. But good for you, Juliet. See, that's the thing. When you finally publicly can declare a truth in your life that has been a secret, right? Holding secrets takes too much energy. Mm-hmm. It is so unbelievably difficult. And I always felt too that I had to keep secrets. I knew about my father, my biological grandfather, okay, but I knew about my father's affair. There were
too
things.
Late, Juliet.
I had to keep.
I'm honored that you could share that
feel
here.
comfortable enough to share that. Thank you so much. I want to put that up there for everyone to see that too. You know, like when you can finally set yourself free by declaring those secrets, because that's the truth. Those are the truth. And so often through the pain inside the family, a lot of times there's this when you feel like you can't speak your truth because they're afraid to face it, because they don't want the world to know what the truth is, because they can't handle it. That is a massive burden to be carrying around, like a massive burden. And I'm not saying that they mean to be causing us harm when they behave like that, or when they cause us to feel like we can't.
It's unconscious behavior.
It's all unconscious behavior.
Because
and
even
we get
stronger than the fight for survival is the fight to keep things familiar.
Yeah.
Even if the familiarity is with pain.
So I don't know if anyone else that's watching this right now, I know Juliet, thank you so much for declaring that. But if you've had to hold secrets in your life, like it's fucking painful. I'm just going to say it like it is. I'm sorry, Ray, if you're listening to this, but that deserves an F-bomb. It is fucking painful, right? And it is a massive burden for a person to be carrying around. There's just no question about it.
Well, Raynell, I will say, and I'm not going to put that comment up on the screen, but thank you for trusting us to share that. And there is freedom there. There is. And this is...
I'm going to put it up. Why wouldn't you put it up?
Go for it.
Of course we're going to put it up.
And this is part of the... this is the concept of the Heavy Shit Club, is we want to be able to create a safe space for people to be able to actually acknowledge this shit.
Yeah.
And then have folks like us and the support of a supportive community that's compassionate, because everyone's experienced it. Everyone has experienced trauma, period. End of story. Let's get that on the table right now.
Little traumas or big traumas. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's all trauma.
Because it's about our perception of it.
But on that note, I got to say something. I know the word trauma has been really overused a lot in recent couple of years or so. Like it almost, sometimes these words, like these concepts, they get kind of overdone. Diluted. Especially with, diluted. Like especially with social media, because we see them so much. So I don't want to in any way, shape, or form diminish what trauma is and how it can impact our lives. So I don't we're just going to I don't care that it's been diluted by far too many people over these last few years. Trauma is trauma. Okay. It's real and it needs to be acknowledged as such. Okay.
But my trauma is worse than your trauma. But your trauma can't be anywhere near my trauma.
Yeah. I love that. I want to put Rainy's next comment on there.
It's just trauma is trauma, and then how you process it and how you perceive it is what matters.
And I bet Raynell and even Juliet and anybody else here who knows, who's aware and has healed your past traumas, I bet you could say for absolute certain that everything that you have experienced in your life, including those traumas up to this point, has made you exactly who you are.
And guess what? It's put you right here on this podcast.
Right now. Yeah.
For a reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not a competition.
100%,
That's right, Marianne.
Perfect.
Trauma is not a competition. Yeah. You don't sit around and compare your traumatic stories, to see whose is worse.
But as you get older, you sit around with your old friends and you compare your trips to the doctor or
your aches and pains. My God. I remember being in the presence of my mom and her sisters and sister-in-law, her aunt, like my aunts. And I remember just listening to them talk about their aches and pains and, I went to the doctor for this and he's fixing my liver and, I got to take this for my blood pressure. And, it just went on. And I remember just sitting there listening to this. Like I was an adult, but I just looked at them and I'm like, is this really
the way it goes?
What it all comes down to is just a bunch of older people sitting around complaining about their aches and pains, because this is not what I
Rocking
picture
chair.
for my future. Like, I do not want to be one of those people, you know? So here I am hobbling
rocking
around
chair
at
with a
40.
cat, talking
I'm
to all your
hobbling
old friends.
around at 49 with a freaking knee, with knee pain and all this shit. Oh my God. But anyway, yeah. So, but I mean, really, but
Okay.
this is, no, we're not done. Stop it. No, we're not done. We're going extra long today. I hope that's okay with you guys, but because I think it's because this is so important.
Yeah, it is.
This is so important. I want to put that up there too. That's a really nice comment. I love that.
There you go.
This is the kind of shit that, I don't know about you guys, but I don't see this happening much out there. I don't see these kinds of conversations happening that much out there, especially when we're getting engaged with the audience and letting the audience have their say. I pictured this over 10 years ago. My dream 10 years ago was to have this kind of talk show where the audience is the one asking the questions and telling their stories. And then Kevin and I would be like sort of the hosts, but we would just be playing off all of the stuff that the people in the audience were offering, you know? And I just, this is because this isn't just our story, you know, this isn't just our story. This is everyone's story. We're all in this together. Even that line has been so overused by people that are not good necessarily.
We're in this together.
We're all in this together.
Well, wear your fucking mask.
In fact, we actually are all in this together, right? So very, very important.
But here's the thing: when we come together, when we actually come together, realizing that we're breathing the same air, right? We're all looking at the same friggin' sun, etc. And
I don't know, that's debatable.
When we come together knowing this, and we actually make the effort to go through and change and clear away all of this old trauma, because trauma is a program as well that's been perpetuated through time. Victimization, all that stuff. When we clear that stuff away, we add that healed energy into the collective consciousness.
That's right.
Which is so important right now.
Yeah. Oh, there's Marius. Thank you for being here, Marius, too.
In humanity's energetic progression, it is so critical that we do our own shit and clear that crap away so that we can add that healed, relaxed, calm, loving energy into the collective. This is what this is what unity is. Right? This is what this is going to take for us to see this through, because we all know that we've been here before. And we're here now for a very specific reason. And if that reason is for you to heal these generational or lifetimes worth of crap so that we can actually make the energetic, I mean, we're past the tipping point now, but we want to ramp it up. Okay, we want to ramp it up and get that exactly. It's all about vibrating at a higher level.
It is
100%.
Marius, that's so correct. And I just want to know, I want to acknowledge Marius because he's done a lot of work during this whole past few years of the COVID bullshit. And he's part of the freedom movement. Okay. And I know for a fact that you have worked really hard, Marius, to help bring a lot of light, a lot of awareness into some really tough topics, like what's going on with Soji and in the education system, the over-sexualization of children and stuff like that. So I just really want to acknowledge you right now for doing that. So thank you so much for doing that. But it's so true. I mean, we need to get to that higher place. And if we stay stuck in our own traumas, okay, if we stay stuck in our own pain, in our own anger and rage and feelings of vengefulness and revenge, like these are real feelings, right? Like we have them. But if we stay stuck in them, then that is not going to get the results that we all, I believe people that are here watching this right now, that we're all here attempting to do, to create this new earth, to bring a whole new vision for a whole new world, right? Totally free from all of these old structures and these old nefarious institutions and
The shenanigans.
yeah, totally free of that. I mean, that's the dream, So I mean, the fact that you guys are here and you're just willing to even listen to us two fools, banter away and rant about things and tell our shit, because that's really what we're doing. I mean, we're just telling the truth. And one thing that we have done very well, I will say this, is we've been really good at just being honest, just putting it out there. Let's call it what it is, right? Like, let's just tell the truth. And again, personally, after so many years of my life feeling like I couldn't and having to hold secrets and it weighing me down, bad enough I had to hold my own secrets, but mostly, more than anything, I was holding my family's secrets, right? And then it becomes a generational family secret. And then it becomes, you realize that our whole entire fucking existence on this planet, we have been living a lie, but I don't want that to become our,
continue to be our reality.
Continue to be our reality, or continue to be us stuck in victimization.
An excuse to non-action.
Right, an excuse to non-action, because the reality is that we all are equal level victims of the lie, of the great lie, if you want to call it that,
See, so, I mean, Mary's brought the COVID thing and we brought the COVID thing.
Yeah.
That's a trauma, folks. Guess what?
Yeah.
It's not only a societal trauma, right? Or a human trauma. It's going to translate and has translated into individual traumas.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the way it went. People not being able to see their loved ones in their last stages of life. Yeah. Right? Looking through the plexiglass screen, right, at grandma.
Terrible that we allowed that to
families
happen.
Being divided.
Yeah.
Because of idealistic views of whether authority is correct or not. Right? Think about this.
People dying unnecessarily.
People dying suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what?
Whole families losing both parents.
That's going to continue. This is the trauma that we have to transcend. We have to transcend this.
We have to transcend it. We can't stay stuck in it. Yes, it's sad. There's no question it's sad, right? It is. I like I said before, Facebook for me in a lot of ways has become like this living obituary. Isn't that ironic to say that? But it's become this ongoing obituary. Like, because almost every day I see more and more people dying suddenly dying, turbo cancer, and it, but I can't stay stuck in that grief. I can't stay stuck in that. I have to see it, acknowledge it, send my love out to those people that are experiencing that grief and that loss, and then move on to continuing to do the work that we're doing, because we are trying our damnedest to bring awareness and healing and empowerment to people, so that we can finally get to that higher place, right? Get to that higher frequency, so we aren't continuing this cycle. Because just like I shared my story earlier, and any of you who came on later, it's worth going back and replaying it, right? Because my personal story of going back to the womb and going back multiple generations and doing that profound healing work that Kevin and I did the other day together with the help of the spirit world, right? Doing that was also a microcosmic experience, a personal experience of what the bigger macrocosm or collective is also experiencing, which is a multi-generational trauma that and it becomes a cycle, right? This just becomes a cycle of pain, a cycle of trauma that continues and goes, and we just keep getting traumatized over and over, and then it becomes just this constant.
If only we could get back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
So-
ends when we friggin' say it ends.
It
folks.
does, and it has to start with us.
Mhm.
I know we're getting preachy. I
No,
don't
but
mean
this-
to do that, but
no,
it's
but
true.
but
right?
when we do the work,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
when we do the work, all of that changes.
Yeah.
I just put that up.
Oh, you did. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you already put that up.
No, but it's true,
It's true.
right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when you are willing to actually dig deep and go down and get underwater, right below the surface,
Yeah.
where that iceberg is being supported,
Yeah.
that's when freedom will happen.
Yes.
Okay, that's when freedom will happen. So this is where we have to go.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people know that. They understand that they need to clear and transcend this away, because only then can you truly start to know yourself. Is when think about this. So here's
The good and the bad and the ugly, by the way, knowing yourself.
So here's
All of
a
it.
simple example. So
It's true, Juliet. What's normal?
so here's a simple
What's
example.
normal?
Now, if you don't know, Ava experiences seizures and has experienced seizures on a varying different intervals, whatever, for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Refuses to take the medication because it just makes her want to kill herself. So we said, enough. We're not doing that.
No.
So we've had multiple conversations with neurologists that are apparently quite smart people. But because they exist in a compartmentalized environment,
Yeah.
it's hard to get them to understand and know that they could be onto something if they just said, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
So I had when we had a conversation with one of the neurologists, we said, you know what? Because there is no medication in the way, we are able then to see patterns.
Yes.
So we were able to see patterns leading up to and following the seizure,
Yes.
and see patterns over time. So the important lesson in this analogy is that the medication wasn't in the way, fogging the observing of the patterns. So this analogy translates directly into how we are as individuals, because if your trauma is in the way, it is masking and fogging up who you truly are.
But they don't see the value in that.
But they didn't see the value in that knowledge. All they said is take the goddamn medication. Shut up and take it.
Or the epileptologist in Toronto who
just
within 2 minutes is sitting
yeah.
in front of them. I want to cut your brain open.
Yeah, you're
right?
a good candidate for surgery. What? You don't freaking know anything about me.
No, and there's no structural, there's nothing physical there for you to cut away. So this makes no sense.
So anyway, so this is about knowing deeply that when you clear the clutter away and you get rid of that underpinning,
yes,
right, the foundational limitations,
yeah,
then clarity happens. You can start seeing the patterns. You can dissect the patterns more effectively and efficiently.
yeah.
So we're saying we're here. We want to keep having these conversations over and over again, because yes, it was mentioned that people aren't talking about this, and we need to.
Yeah.
This is the heavy shit that we have to discuss.
We need to get to the deep stuff. And I think the point that Kevin was making about sharing about the whole, like the epilepsy thing with the doctors, is I know myself enough to know that I'm not going to let any doctor, a perceived external authority, right, tell me, perceived,
because you got a plaque on the wall.
Yeah, tell me how I'm going to live my life, or what I'm going to put into my body, especially when I have the understanding, when I have the knowledge of how they are trained, right? Which is trained to diagnose, not get to the root cause, but diagnose a condition and give a drug, right? Prescribe a drug. That's how they get paid, or refer to other specialists or whatever. They get paid for all this stuff. When you know that, and you know yourself, then you can make a different decision, that I'm not going to follow along just to get along.
Mhm.
It's completely different when you can stand in your own authority
Mhm.
and stand in your own truth.
Mhm.
You know, it's taken me a long time to get there, right? But that's just the way it is.
So, Marianne, that would be, I want to say it's part of the problem. The thing is that
yeah, but if
it's
people
about
want,
going along with that.
people
right?
can look, people can seek out, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Juliet. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we won't even get
And
into
we-
mainstream
we
media
can get
today.
into that,
That's
but later.
mainstream media is dissolving anyway. The reality is it's dissolving.
That's a bunch of shenanigans.
Yeah. But I mean, we have been going for what? How
Hour and a
long?
half.
An hour and a half. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. So here's what I'd like to do. If I don't even, we can't even tell how many people are on right now, but if anybody has any questions, can we just open it up for a few minutes?
Well,
I know people have
we
commented,
can. Sure,
but
we can.
if anybody has any questions about what we shared
We'll do our
earlier,
best to see them because we don't
we'll do our
necessarily
best.
see all the comments coming through.
I don't know if we do or not, but we can try. So we'll give it a few minutes. Yes, people are definitely indoctrinated, right? That's been done very intentionally.
Indoctrinated.
Nice, Kevin.
Well,
So so let's give it a few minutes though. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them. Shows one on my
yeah.
end.
So I mean, the comment thing. So this is why we want to make this shift. We want to make a shift over to our own site because then people can just go there. They can see the live stream, experience everything, and then comment directly underneath, and we'll be able to acknowledge that in real time. So
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Trust us.
But you know what I love is that I love that all of you are here.
Yes.
We really do love you all. We do. I promise you that. And we're so thankful that you're here. So thankful because it really is helping us fulfill our purpose for why we know we're on this planet. It really is. And at the same time, I know that we're also bringing value because I am getting that feedback, right? People are private messaging me and your comments and everything. So that feels really good.
And if it's okay,
I'm getting addicted to your feedback. So keep it coming, okay? It's a good addiction.
And if it's okay with you, we're going to share some resources. But there are some resources right now.
Yeah.
Like if you join the Heavy Shit Club, at least through the landing page, you'll get some email references or some resources coming through.
Yeah, Kevin's creating the email funnel, so to speak, right?
But it's about
yeah.
Empowering people to start taking a deep look at things, right? A super deep look at things. So if you're ready,
yeah,
it's there.
theheavyshitclub.com, right?
Yeah, theheavyshitclub.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even just kevinandava.com, if
Yeah.
you could sign up there, that would
That
be
too,
greatly
yeah.
appreciated. So I want to acknowledge what Marianne said here. I'm sad at the moment, the amount of people who are either very sick or are gone because they thought they were doing the right thing. Well, that's the power of belief, is it not? In a lot of ways, if you believe you're doing the right thing, or if you believe that perceived authority figure that's telling you need to do this, and you trust them, or you're giving your power over to them, if you believe that that's what you're supposed to do is just comply and obey and not question, or if you believed that you were going to be fired from your career, right, and not be able to feed your children because you didn't have work, or if then, and you did it, then that is the result. I'm not saying that with judgment. I'm really not. I'm saying that's the power of belief. That's the power of the mind. Right?
So think about this.
The power of the mind.
Right now, I'm going to go super deep on that concept.
Are you really?
I am.
Okay, this is going to be a Kevin teaching moment here, just to let you guys know.
Because there was a mention earlier about purpose on this planet.
There was? I didn't see that.
Yeah, Marius said it.
Okay.
We have to discover our purpose.
Yeah, we do.
And when we clear the shit away,
yeah,
that slowly starts to bring clarity to that. If anyone's ever seen The Matrix, there's a scene in The Matrix where Neo and Trinity have to find the keymaker. And towards the very end of this particular one, I think it is number 3. I think it's number 3, maybe 2. I don't know. Anyway, the keymaker is explaining all of the information that Neo and Trinity and Morpheus all need in order to accomplish the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's explaining all of this. The door will only be down for 60 seconds or whatever it is, and then you go in there and that. There's a question asked of the keymaker, and that is, how do you know this? He says, I know because I must know. That is my purpose. So let's look at purpose. Maybe, and I'm gonna really chunk this up here, because our purpose right now is to bring people together in unity,
Empower people.
and empower people to make the change,
Mm-hmm.
because this planet needs it.
This planet needs you.
And it needs you.
It needs us.
It needs us.
To do this work. Really
What
does.
if, and I'm going to go there, what if, this is just another perspective, the person who decided to follow authority and experience, and including the people that are around that person, experienced the result of that decision to accept what authority was saying, and whatever the result is, maybe that is their purpose.
Ooh.
Okay,
Mm.
we're going to put this on the table because this is about perception.
Well, this is about
Maybe
getting
this is about way
out
chunked
of
up.
this material 3D world. I mean, this
Right.
is getting way up there into the
What
spiritual
if
realms
there are souls on this planet
that chose to come
that
here
chose to be here,
to be that sacrificial
be
lamb in a way,
part
right?
of the statistics,
Maybe, yeah,
as painful as that may be, traumatic
to us,
around the people that are left,
yeah,
but it's a way that their contribution in terms of a soul's purpose
to wake the planet up,
is to wake other folks up, other souls up,
yeah.
to the reality of this matrix.
Because oftentimes, let's be honest,
What
humans
if?
learn through struggle and pain.
Yeah.
We typically have to
What
feel
if?
the damn pain to
What if?
finally push us, right? And to do what we need to do. That's very, very, very common.
What
of
if
humanity?
their
right?
purpose was to be a statistic?
Yeah. And I want to address the question that Marianne asked as you were talking about that.
Mhm.
Is it belief? But is it belief truly? Because we are not, because we've been lied to or coerced.
Yes, it is, because
it is
people are
still-
only doing the best they can with what they have.
But it is still belief,
It's
even
belief.
if it's a belief, a manufactured belief.
Mhm.
Even if it's a belief, because this is how beliefs are formed. You have to remember that. I'm not talking faith or like spiritual beliefs. Well, even those can be manufactured. But it's about your belief, that your personal belief that you take on, okay, in your mind. So even if it's coming from mainstream news, even if it's coming from the television, even if it's coming from other people in your environment, experiences, traumas that you've had, whatever,
Mhm.
you form those beliefs. Beliefs don't mean truths.
No,
Beliefs are just simply that. They're beliefs.
they're simple perceptions.
They're perceptions that become beliefs that we hold
Translate into behavior.
in our minds that then become our thoughts and then become our actions.
And 95% of that
Right?
stuff ain't even yours.
No, and it's unconscious.
But you have to get down
Yeah.
under where the bottom part of the iceberg is,
Yeah.
to unpack it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's big stuff.
Okay, so you know where to find
and
us.
that's why it's so easy for us to get on here and talk and talk and talk, because there's so much to talk about, you know.
Mhm.
Well, yes, if the mainstream news had been honest with the people who would have taken the jobs.
Jabs.
Jabs. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame the mainstream news completely, to be honest with you, because they're just a small part in
But
the
it's
overall
all.
mechanism.
See, here's the thing, though.
Right?
We know it's by agenda.
Yeah.
People are ruling by agenda.
Yeah.
They're doctoring by agenda.
Yeah.
They're educating by agenda.
Yeah.
They're MSMing by agenda. Okay.
Nice, Kevin. I don't think that's a word.
It is now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all of this happens by agenda. When you wake up to that idea,
and it all comes
you
from
can
the
do things.
top. It all comes from that central source, right? That central source that we've talked about. That's why they're trying to centralize everything, so that but it already comes from a central source. Even mainstream media, their news comes from the Associated Press wire, right? It's all filtered down. It comes down. You take it. This is what I was taught in television broadcasting and broadcasting.
And you see it.
You're taught. You take the news. You may change a word here and there, make it your own, and then you broadcast it. You do not write your own news. You can't. That's not what you do. It's just. And when I questioned it in school, it's just not what you do. It's just not what you do, Ava. Well, that's not acceptable to me, right? So I just could not continue with that program. So that's the thing, right? And so we are taking on other people's. Yes, there's that greater agenda. It comes through our media, and then we take it on, and we get to choose if we're consciously aware that what we're watching is just coming from a central source, and it is meant to program our minds. If we are aware of this fact, then we can see these things or hear these things, and we can choose whether or not to believe it, whether or not to take that on as a truth, as a belief. Okay.
But remember here, we have to think.
We can discern.
We have to think. This isn't a government problem.
Yeah.
This isn't a mainstream media problem. All right. This isn't a World Health Organization problem, WEF problem.
I think I know what you're going to say.
It's our problem.
It's a human problem.
It's a human problem.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where we have to go.
Yeah.
Right. These are just surface level shenanigan shit shows
Theater
that's playing the drama in order to make you distracted and divided and remove you from the desire of going as deep as you know you need to go in order to clear your shit away so that all of this drama doesn't mean anything to you anymore.
Yes, you're right, Marianne. We, the people, allowed it. It's
You're
true.
100%.
Even unconsciously, we allowed it.
Allow it.
This is why we need to become conscious.
But that's why unity is so important.
Yeah.
And unity's been thrown around all over the place, and UN and there's all they all have that friggin' unity language.
Yeah.
I'm talking true unity, where we can actually put what we would be defined as different, or those differences, and none of that matters. If you see kids of multi race, religion, whatever, playing in a playground, they just play. They just play. None of that other shit matters.
They don't care about color. They don't care about religion. They don't care about any of that stuff. Whether someone's bigger or smaller, none of it matters. They're just playing. They're in the moment.
So we need, as humanity, capital H humanity, we need to get there to a point where none of that shit matters.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Because we're all human. Right?
We're all we're more similar than we want to give everybody credit for.
Yeah, this coming from the white boy the boy who grew up as the only white boy in a community of black people.
Yeah, in Africa.
You know, you kind of stand out.
Yeah, and when you fall and trip and everybody around you starts laughing.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the thing.
Yeah.
We are the same. We just are. We all have the same traumas.
Yeah.
We all have trauma. We all have victimization. We've all have all of this stuff.
And we get
but it ends when we say it fucking ends.
Yes, and we get, honestly, like Marianne is bringing up there, we get that the last 4 years in particular has been particularly,
Yep.
It's been particularly difficult. We get it,
Challenging.
yeah, because they went full tilt with this whole, COVID bullshit. But the reality is that that's still just a blip. It was just the next step for them. It was just a big experiment. It was just the next step for them towards them achieving their overriding agenda that they've had for God knows how many years, like dozens and dozens and dozens of years, right? Or maybe even hundreds, So the thing is I would still like for us to even get beyond that, get beyond this last 4 years, acknowledge it. Like you said before, Marianne, lots of times, and other people have too, get the lessons from it, take what you can from it and pull up your bootstraps and let's get on to building a new future, right? That's what I think. Let's get on to building a new future.
What do we want instead?
What do we
folks?
want instead? So instead of moving away from what we don't want,
We need
let's
to turn
create a
around
new vision.
and move towards what we want.
Let's move towards what we want.
That's the key.
Let's move toward what we want. That's a whole mindset shift right there, you guys. Stop running away from what we don't want. Turn around and face the vision of the future that we do want, and we need to move towards that. And with that,
that's a good spot.
That's a good spot to end this episode today.
So we need your help. We have
do.
a very important mission on this planet. Share this far and wide.
Yes, please do share it.
Play
the social media game for us, guys, because we need that in order to extend our reach.
Like, subscribe.
So if you're on YouTube, subscribe, whatever. Like, subscribe, share. I know some of you already have. We appreciate it. We do appreciate you all. If you got value from it, again, continue to give us feedback, please. If you have certain things that you would like us to talk about, maybe mention it, send me a DM or put it in the comments, whatever. I'll do my best to keep up with all of that.
kevinandava.com and throw your email in there.
Oh, please do that. That is
let's stay connected.
That's going to be so key to us moving forward. It really, really is. And I just want to thank you as well for those of you who stuck around, because I know these can go long, right? And
it can when you're having great conversation.
Yeah, well, when you're having fun, right? But I just want you to understand too how much I appreciate that you held space for me today while I shared a very deeply personal part of my life and my family's lives, right? Because that's them too. I have to acknowledge them as well. It's not just about me. And I appreciate you for holding that space for me. And God damn, like I didn't have any clue that that my healing journey was gonna become so public, I guess. So but you know what? I know that people need to hear it. So that's why
you are not alone.
That's why I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm not alone. You're not alone. We're all in this together. So yeah. So thank you guys. And we will be back on Tuesday again at 10 a.m. Right? We'll stick with 10 a.m. for now, Eastern. Again, we might be changing things up in the near future, but for now, 10 a.m. on Tuesday, we will go live, and we hope to see you then. And thank you again we cannot possibly even express how grateful we are that we're able to do this work, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you for helping us realize our purpose.
Yeah.
And until next week, you guys have a great weekend.
Have an awesome weekend.
Awesome weekend.
Hug someone that you love. Hug a stranger. Whatever you got to do. Compliment someone at the grocery store.
Or just get honest with yourself.
Yeah. Look someone in the eye and say something nice to them. Just say hello to them even. It might actually change their day, right? So just do kind things for each other. We got to get back to that. So, all right, enough preaching. Okay, have a great weekend, you guys.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.